Okay, today unit 4, we're looking at percent error, and percent error is not much different than what we have been doing, but this focuses on what the difference is between the actual and somebody's guess. So what that really is meaning is finding the difference between the two numbers that they are giving us. Percent error is and it's used to compare an estimate or guess to an exact value. So remember when we were doing value 1, value 2, the value 1 always goes in the top. This, you really have to be careful with what you're reading because you're not always going to put the first number in the top box. You're finding out which one's the actual number. The actual number is what goes up on the top. So we're going to write out the 4 quick steps, and then we're going to do one example, and then y'all going to have some practice problems together. Yes.
Does it say question or does it say quest?
Guess.
Oh, okay.
So step 1, you're going to set up a table. Number 2, fill in with the actual number at the top. Subtract the actual and the second number, not second meaning in order, but second number meaning the other number you haven't used yet. Second number, and put that number in the bottom right corner. And then the rest of it is what we've been doing. We do our divide, crisscross, and solve. All right, so all the practice today and tomorrow that we're going to do, I've typed them all out for you. So I'm asking you to copy one by hand with me for the example. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And to be honest, it's only 2 sentences, so I'm hoping we can all handle that. All right. Sally estimates the width of a present to be 8 inches wide. The actual present measures 8.25 inches. What is Sally's percent error? So to sum it up, you're trying to figure out the percent of how much she was wrong from the or how much she was off from the actual size of the present. So looking at that, was she that off? No, she was pretty close on her guesstimate, right? But looking at that, I know you guys can already tell that she was only off by how much? 0.25, okay? But that's not the answer. We have to find what percent is 0.25. That's where the table comes into play. So you guys already understand what's going on. We're finding what the difference is between her guess and the real size of the present. Then we take that number and turn it into what the percent of that number is, okay? So first thing we are doing is set up that good old table. So in this situation, we're talking about inches. So when we're doing percent error, it's always percent, and then this side is whatever you're talking about. All right, so we know we always start with 100%. And if you look at step number 2, it says fill in with the actual number at the top. So what in the problem did it say was the actual size? 8.25. But what number comes first if you look at the problem?
8.
Just 8. Don't let that mess you up. Make sure you're reading for it to say the actual size or the actual price if it's a money one. So let's see, 8.25. All right. So what is Sally's percent error? So we're solving for the percent. So that means the 1 is going to go where? Under the 8.25. Because remember, you can't have the blank and the 1 on the same side. That's not solvable. Okay? So whatever you're solving for, the 1 goes on the opposite side. All right. So we know to get from 8.25 to 1, we divide by 8.25. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And the reason I'm writing it inside is because some of you are getting wrong answers. Because when I write it on the outside here, like I do here, y'all are putting 8.25 first in the calculator, and that's a wrong answer. So that's why I'm putting it on this side to try to help you out. All right, so when I divide that, what do I end up with?
12.12.
And don't clear that out. So 12.12, that's repeating, so put your line over it. Okay, step 3, subtract the actual and the second number. So we have 8.25. Take away, what's the second number in the problem, the other number? 8, which I know you can do this part in your head. I'm just writing it out so you see the steps. That looks weird, so what can I add? 2 zeros with a decimal, and we're left with 0.25. So that number goes right here. So we got 0.25. So now we do crisscross, yep, to get our missing percent error. So leave that in your calculator, and when you multiply by 0.25,
We get 3.03
repeating.
0.03.
Yep. So our final answer is going to be 3.03%. So not too much of a difference of what we've been doing. The only difference with this is we take the actual and we're subtracting what their guess was to find the difference. Isaac.
Can you scoot it up a little bit?
Yep.
So I can see the steps again?
Mm-hmm. Did you write them all down?
I missed 2 that's what I did.
Okay. All right, any questions on that one? All right, so you are going to, in a minute, get a half sheet. Okay. That looks like this. And it's got 4 questions. So when you get yours, I don't want to write on this. This is my only copy. You're gonna put a line through this gray box, because this is the proportion. We're not using that. We're using the tables. So just put one line through that. We're gonna fill out the top real quick, and then I'm gonna set up these 4, just so you have something to go by. And you're gonna do these 4, and you can work with a partner at your table. If that goes well, then I'm gonna let you pick your partner from the room on the next thing we do. So I need to see that we're doing this well with partners. But what you're gonna do with this, and listen carefully, when you're done, you're gonna tape or glue it all the way down on page 80. You're gonna take a picture of it and email it to me. Not on Canvas, through Gmail, okay? Materials. Isaac, can you pass out the half sheet that's on the table over there? And I need one definitely. And we'll get started with that. And then we're gonna go over this tomorrow after everyone's had a chance to email it to me in class today. Anthony. Okay. If you can get someone to take a picture of yours and email it to me, but in the subject line, tell them to put your name. That's fine. Right. Thank you, Isaac. All right, so I'm gonna get you guys set up with the tables. Yep, I'm about to do it right here. Okay, on your paper, guys, you're gonna write exact value, which we already added on our other sheet, but I just want you to write that again. And then you're just gonna cross this out. This is a way to do it, but it's a different strategy than what we're used to, so that's why we're kind of skipping that part. All right, so your 4, I'm gonna set up for you. You've got percent and money. You've got percent and tips. The bottom, we have percent and girls that made the team. And then we have percent and yards. You can do it by yourself, or you can use somebody at your table if you need help. Again, I would try to do some of this on your own so that you know yourself you're ready for the test next week. But I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes to get those done, and some of you probably won't even need 10 minutes. And then we're going to go over these tomorrow, but make sure that you email it to me when you're done, and then we're going to start some practice problems when we are all done and emailed this to me. Any other questions? Maya? Yes. Can I go back up? It's the same thing. That's the same sentence we started with. It just says exact value. It's the same thing we wrote in our notebook. So what page is this going on? 80, yes. Or your next page, whatever is better for you.